or is my king. 2023 election must be about character we can trust.
Yes.
Come on. It must be about capacity. It must be about capacity to start moving Nigeria in the right direction. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Obi, for your wonderful speech, your warm-hearted, honest, and candid speech. Nigeria loves you. Give Mr. Obi some love, everybody.
And we'll do our best to ask as many of your questions as we can. But if we don't get to them, you will receive responses if you register for this event. The first question is for you, Mr. Peter Obi. Nigeria is a deeply divided country right now, divided along the lines of ethnicity and religion for the most part. What will you do to be the unifier that Nigeria needs? No, that's the first question for you. Yes, please.
But quite frankly, I agree with you that it's divided along tribal, religion, and everything. But it's not something that is very difficult to unite. Nigerians have shown the capacity to come together when there's anything that gives them hope. Go and watch Nigerians when they're playing football.
Yes.
Go and watch Nigerians when somebody is winning even just in sports. Go and see Nigerians when things are working well. All these divisions along ethnic line and religion, I said before, is an elite conspiracy to keep the country where it is today so they can continue to live on the confusion. If we have a good leader today, every country has ethnic problem. Even in America here, everyone. We don't have more tribes than Indonesia. We don't have more tribes than most countries. But once they see good and exemplary leadership, they will come together. Because if you start providing power today and people are employed, you reduce, the more you put people out of poverty, you start seeing all these things change. It's happening in Brazil, happening in Mexico and everywhere. So we will work hard by creating opportunity where everybody will be invited to the table, live together, love each other, dialogue where even people are agitating.
Well, thank you very much. The challenge of Nigerians living together is fundamentally a challenge that comes from the poor structure of the Nigerian Federation. When you have a federalism that allows people to exercise their freedom and grow, people will accommodate one another and all profit from it. And I give you an example. Back in the late 50s, when self-government first came, and the early 60s, Nigerians were found to be competing about who would most bring progress to their people. This phenomenon came to be called competitive communalism. Ethnic nationality groups who were trying to bring the most progress to their people. What has happened is that with the failure of our federalism, people are in a zero-sum game. it means that I have lost. So in the fight to share, we have become very antagonistic to one another. But if the federal structure allowed everybody to produce adequately and people are prospering, and that happened in the 50s, there will be less of the kind of tension that is there today. But clearly, politicians who thrive on state capture and who are taking advantage of the confusion will deepen those cleavages so that they can continue to profit from it. And that is what we must, through just good leadership, show people that we have no rules, because all parts of Nigeria can thrive and everybody can be happy living together and working
Thank
together.
you very much.
But what are the leadership?
Thank you, sir. I'd like to start the second question with you, Mr. Tony. This week, Delta Airlines, just like Emirates, British Airways, announced a significant reduction in service to Nigeria. And they are making a move that will mean that passengers need to purchase tickets online in USD, even though their flights are originating from Nigeria. This is because of the exchange rate crisis. Nigerian Naira is spiraling in free fall. The CBN has a parallel exchange rate that makes young bankers think that the government is sponsoring vacation so they can round trip. What will the Peter Obi administration do to tackle the downward spiral in the Naira?
Well, thank you. Mr. Obi has said repeatedly that what solves that problem is production. Once you begin to produce, and we'll talk about how we produce, you will earn so much from what you are exporting that your currency will be getting very strong. In fact, and indeed, producing and exporting countries don't worry about their exchange rate. Back in the 70s, Japan wanted to have a weak exchange rate position so that their exports will take over the American market, as indeed back in those days. When the Japanese yen grew so strong, and I still remember clearly when it crossed the 200 mark, came from 200 something to 190, Japanese were almost crying, and the exchange rate was getting stronger because it would affect their exports. But because we don't produce, and we just get whatever comes from crude oil and share and fight, we go into these games with exchange rates. Now, here's the big danger between institutions and markets. You know, for a good part of our history, we depended on the central bank managing a block currency. We didn't have a market for foreign exchange. We got to a point where by 1983, 84, and for younger people, it's important to learn this lesson because we forget school very quickly. Nigeria could not pay its due bills, exactly what's happening with the airlines today. And we had to so ration foreign exchange that it was almost a crime to be found with $100 in Nigeria. It was not almost, it was a crime.
Yes.
I was going to Zimbabwe in 1984. I had to fly to London to get money to fly back to Zimbabwe. Because if I left Nigeria with $200, I would go to jail. And we came down to where Venezuela gets to always very quickly. We were queuing up to buy milk, to buy sugar. It was called essential commodities. And we actually set up a company called the Nigerian National Supply Company to bring these things in. After the pain of that season, we learned a few things and began to try to build markets. One of the biggest market building challenges we had was building a foreign exchange market. And so, various iterations went to a two-tier foreign exchange market. We all remember SPEN.
Yes.
And then we kept getting better, institutions kept getting strengthened until we got a running foreign exchange market. Markets are a function of the strength of the institutions that support them. What happens? About 6 years ago, we began a dangerous reversal of those gains.
Yeah.
We began to have multiple exchange rates. Those multiple exchange rates essentially just allowed people with access to power to take money at this rate, round trip it, make more money, and indolence crept into the system, today we've broken that market. It will take us a lot to rebuild this market that gave us, the possibilities of growth over these last couple of years. But it will and can be done. All you need is to have regulators who understand what they are doing, who are patriotic enough, and who can be held accountable. One of the biggest risks of doing business in Nigeria is regulatory risk.
Yes, it is the biggest.
So in 2019, I think it was a May 28 article, Forbes magazine described Nigeria as Africa's money-losing machine. And that was a function of the nature of the regulatory risk in the environment that was preventing flows. We're talking about what we can do. If the world sees that Nigeria is serious, just the signaling, there is so much capital around the world today that capital will flow into Nigeria. And these capital are flowing, that will take place. And that's how we will solve problems of exchange rates and markets for foreign exchange.
Thank you. Before I let you actually, Mr. Peter, I want to add an additional question that I want you to answer. In addition to the exchange rate, there are so many problems that if you become Nigeria's president, you will inherit on day one. How would you prioritize? What will be your priorities in your first 100 days?
Just to add to what you have said about the exchange rate, you have said, for me, without knowing, professors have given more sophisticated way of solving it. Mine is simple. Production. Which I said, if you are a producing country and you export, you manage your rates.
Yes.
And it's a very simple thing. Nigeria is a country of 200 million people living on 923,000 square kilometers of land. Total export in 2021 is 18,900,000,000,000. If you divide it by official rate, it will give you about 47 billion. If you divide it by my own rate, it will give you 650. It will give you about 30 billion. For 200 million people. Vietnam is 100 million. So half of our population living on 331,000 square kilometers of land. So they live on a third of our land and they have our population. Total export last year is $312 billion. So we couldn't do 10% of what 100 million people living on a third of our land is able to do. That is our problem. When you talk about freedom, not having true freedom, you mentioned about what states, there's no competition. What states are not doing anything. A state like Niger is 76.3 thousand square kilometers of land, 2.5 times the size of Netherlands without water. Netherlands is at 3,000. You remove water, it's about 40-something thousand. Their agricultural exports on land that is bordered with winter, everything is $120 billion. Niger State, 2.5 times that land, good weather, fertile weather, better land and everything, did not feed themselves. They couldn't feed in Nigeria, they did not export anything. If they had done only 1% of export of Netherlands, it would be $1.2 billion, which if they exchange it at 650, it's about 750 billion naira, which is about 5 times their budget. Taraba State is the same thing. Taraba State is 54-something thousand square kilometers of land. With Mandela on it, they can grow tea, they can grow coffee, they can grow flour on that further land. Kenya last year exported flour of over $500 million. Ethiopia did tea and coffee of $1.1 billion. Sierra Leone, with all their trouble, did tea of $1.4 billion. Taraba State is still looking to share money for river. Prof, please as well.